Wife's new friend is encouraging her to cheat. My, 35 male, wife, 33 female, found a new friend a few months ago. She keeps this friend separate to her normal friendship group she's known since college. My wife has told me that the new friend has been having marital difficulties in her own relationship, without any further detail. A few days ago, my wife received a message from the friend, which flashed up on her phone when I was plugging it in after charging my phone, asking her how the chase is going with the new guy, and if they'd hooked up yet. This was followed by a few other messages essentially egging her on. I get along with her older friends, our families are quite close and our kid is good friends with their kids. I expect I would have heard from one of them or their husbands if they knew something was up, so it seems they are in the dark too. My wife is pretty strong-headed and unlikely to respond positively to any suggestions I ask her to cut off contact with the new friend. Any suggestions or advice from people who have been in similar situations would be appreciated. I mean, yeah, the friend sucks, but the bigger problem is with your wife chasing other men. Getting rid of the friend won't solve that problem. If the friend is asking about the chase with the new guy, then there might be something already going on. It might be too late. If your wife is receptive of those messages and they imply she is already in the chase, you aren't seen as her fav partner. She should have initiated a convo in my opinion, but I'd be sus and angry and already be planning for the worst. Honestly, it's time to have a talk with your wife and also bring up all your concerns plus what you saw. She might be hard-headed, but if you actually have a conversation about it and share your concerns, it's more likely she'll see your point of view. My best friend and my boyfriend are getting too close. I, 21F, was very eager to introduce my best friend, 21F, to my boyfriend, 21M. I hadn't seen her in around a year, so it was exciting once we rekindled things. I love her to pieces, but introducing her to my boyfriend feels like one of the worst decisions of my life. I knew that they would get on, but I didn't expect just how well they would get on. They have the same sense of humor, the same taste in music, they game together, and they have 1,000 inside jokes that I just don't understand. Whenever we hang out, it feels like I'm the third wheel. They talk and talk, and I'm on the outside of it, not understanding any of their references. He flirts with her in a pretty joking way, but I can't help but feel weird about it, even though she doesn't reciprocate and it's clearly a joke. I don't want to lose either of them. I feel almost greedy for trying to have them both at the same time, but they're the only real friends I have in my life right now. I just don't know what to do. I would establish boundaries, especially with your boyfriend about the flirting. Personally, that's not acceptable to me at all, even if it is a joke. And tell him about how you're feeling in general. Also, it's not greedy to want to have people you're close to. Establish dominance and date them both. Never bring a spare wheel into a relationship. Quit hanging out with her when you are with your boyfriend. He flirts with her in a pretty joking way. What? I'm kind of in your boyfriend situation and I didn't realize I was being flirty until my girlfriend told me. Consider asking him if he gets overly defensive. You'll know he's doing it intentionally. From the wise words of Kamaru Usman, do something, do something. My boyfriend is crushing on my sister. So my boyfriend and I always go visit my family house every now and then, but I always see that he gravitates towards my younger sis, 20. And it could be that he's very comfortable with my family, but it's a large family and he seems to be near her all the time she's around and starting conversation. Nothing looks sus except the fact he's always sitting near her and chatting it up. He talks to my fam equally but talks to her the most and lingers around her. Are they similar? Does he ever hit on her or stare? Is he seeking her more than you? Or is he still by your side as well? As the outsider in the family, is she the only one who pays him any attention? I feel like saying that he is crushing on your sisters is a bit of a stretch, at the very least jumping to conclusions. Not really a lot of context here. Dumb sleep-deprived me thought the boyfriend was morbidly obese, sat on the sister and literally crushed her. That's not how we translate English brain. BTW, he speaks equally to your family but to her the most. Which is it? You seem to want to downplay it all. Since he is also trying to meet with prostitutes, I wouldn't trust that guy. And I would protect my sister. I, 26M, found out that my GF, 26F, was an adult video actress and it made things really complicated. Before knowing the incident, I think a proper context is needed. We have been together for about 8 months now. And things were really good till yesterday. She is a very kind-hearted girl, very calm and responsible. I consider myself very lucky that I found her. We were perfect to each other. For instance, I was always terrible at decision-making, but after I met her, her calmness and thinking really helped me in that. We are also good financially. So last night, we were in bed talking about random things, and after some time we were telling each other the things we never said to anyone before. I went first and said my most embarrassing moment of my life. It was when I ran away while losing my virginity because I was scared. After that it was her turn. She told me not to judge her and similar things. Then finally she told me that in her initial days of college, she shot 3 PRN videos for 2 different agencies. It was almost 5 years ago. I was blanked at that moment. I mean, what are the chances that your girlfriend was an adult actress? I didn't know how to react on that. She sensed my silence and told it was years ago and the most regrettable act she ever did. She quit after doing those 3 videos and that it was a thing that she didn't want anyone to know, and the fact that she told me means she trust and love me, and said some similar things. Honestly, I don't even remember what she said afterwards. We didn't talk after that and went to sleep. We lived together, so we slept on the same bed. Her silent sobbing was audible to me. I couldn't sleep yesterday. I came out of the room at around 4 in the morning. She was definitely awake too. Then I did the most horrifying mistake. I searched her on the internet. She had a stage name. And it was true. After actually searching the whole web, I found her all 3 videos. Initially some part of my mind actually thought that maybe it was a stupid mistake she did, but after actually going through the videos, I just couldn't hold myself together. I went to a nearby library, from where I'm writing this. One of the 3 videos was a normal PRN video, but the other 2 was kind of some interracial orgy. There were a total of 3 girls, including her, with 5-6 guys, both white and black guys, in one of the other videos, and the other was from a very famous site. I do not want to describe more. I don't know, I'm feeling guilty, when it should be her feeling it. I would also like to tell about her a bit more. She is an orphan. Her whole family passed in a terrible accident. When she was just 12, she was the sole survivor. As a child, she spent her teenage years from one relatives to another. She went through a lot of struggles very early in her life, struggles I couldn't even imagine going through myself. That's why I respect her so much. She called me a number of times now. I don't know what to talk. I probably won't be able to face her right now. I'm in a very numb phase right now. I couldn't get the things I saw out of my head. I was planning to propose her before the end of next year. There's so much thought going on my head right now, and I'm afraid that I will make another bad decision here. I love her. I see us together in the future. This whole thing doesn't matter, I still love her. But how do I settle my mind? I mean, I just can't unsee it. What should do I now so that I don't make this any worse? How do I react in front of her? What do I say to her? Adding this, it's not that only I was serious about us. We both wanted to settle down together. And she always jokingly mentioned how it would be so nice to raise a child together, etc. things. Also, please don't ask her name, I'm not going to answer that. Update 1. I'm sorry for being such an asshole. I was not thinking clearly, it was frustration. I talked to her just now. It was a small talk, we both have to go to work now. And yes, now I feel terrible about not comforting her last night. We both agreed to have a nice and long talk after work. So yeah, I'll update it later. I just want to say one more thing. We barely have arguments, we were always on the same page. This is probably the first major thing happening with us, and I do believe it will pass too. I just wished I would have reacted better and acted more mature. But what do you expect, that was the last thing I was expecting. And again, it makes me remember how she is more mature than me. She would have reacted much better than me. Update 2. I'll definitely have this in my mind for a while, and I know that, and it will take some time for me. Call me conservative, old-fashioned, but I can't act like nothing happened. All I'm trying to say is that I know I made a mistake, but it's not completely my mistake. Update 3. I'm not erasing anything from the post, so that may be in case I've to show her this. I mean, one would definitely get the emotions I was feeling initially, and probably in future if I needed to see myself doing something stupid. I'll also not update it anymore. I'll update it in a new post after the talk. Thank you everyone. Please look at the replies of the comments for small updates. If it's a deal-breaker for you, please, end things now. Neither her nor you should be locked in an agonizing situation. I'm feeling guilty, when it should be her feeling it. What? She already does, and you want her to feel what? More guilty? If it bothers you that much, then leave. I understand her past, but if you can't get past it, then that's okay. Everyone has a past, and as long as you don't disrespect her, you can leave if you feel you can't handle it. Respectfully end it and wish her the best. Every action has a consequence. But she felt comfortable enough to trust you and tell you. Don't badmouth her if you choose to leave. People make mistakes. If she doesn't seem like an sex-crazed woman who needs orgies to enjoy sex, then I'd move forward. But it's up to you.